Summer in Stardew Valley, an original fan story. If you enjoy this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell, and heck, maybe even share it with a friend. Oh, and let me know in the comments if you like this story and what video game world I should write about next. Chapter 1: Morning Light on the Farm. The sun rose gently over the eastern hills of Stardew Valley, casting a soft golden light across the fields. The morning dew shimmered on tall stalks of corn, and a few early butterflies drifted lazily through the warm, still air. Summer had settled fully into the valley, and on this quiet morning, the only sounds were the rustle of leaves and the distant call of a rooster. Inside the small farmhouse, the day began like most others. The gentle chime of the clock marked the early hour. With a creak of wooden floorboards and a content sigh, another day on the farm had begun. The television flickered on with a soft buzz. The familiar voice of the weather report crackled through. And now your forecast for tomorrow. Beautiful sunny weather. Perfect for the luau. A note of excitement lingered in the announcer's voice. Tomorrow was the big day. Next came the fortune teller with her usual dramatic flair. Spirits are in good humor today. You'll have a little extra luck. A welcome sign. Luck made everything smoother, especially mining. But there was work to do before any side adventures. Outside, the soil was warm underfoot. Rows of blueberries were nearly ready to harvest, fat and heavy on the vine. Hops climbed the trellises like green ladders, while melons sat like sleeping giants beneath broad leaves. The faint buzz of bees hinted that the nearby hives were full of sweet summer honey, infused with the scent of poppies and sunflowers. The farmer moved through the crops with practiced ease, watering where needed, harvesting what was ripe, and checking the seed bins to make sure the next planting would stay on schedule. A lone scarecrow stood watch nearby, its straw-stuffed arms outstretched toward the morning sky. Near the barn, the cows lowed softly, waiting by the gate. They were gentle creatures, warm and curious, nudging for attention as their pails filled with milk. Inside the coop, the chickens clucked and flapped as they jostled for their morning feed. A duck waddled lazily toward the pond, sending ripples across the surface as it slipped in for a swim. The farm was alive, and in a way, so was the farmer. Each morning brought its rituals, filling the water troughs, collecting eggs, brushing the horses, patting the dog, always waiting faithfully by the porch. In the distance, the tall pine trees swayed gently, and just beyond them, the mountains shimmered with the promise of silver and gold veins hidden in their stone hearts. Back inside, a letter sat waiting in the mailbox, the envelope sealed with the familiar green ink of Mayor Lewis. Tearing it open revealed a short, neatly penned note. Dear Farmer, as you know, the luau will take place on the beach tomorrow. Please bring something tasty for the communal potluck. Everyone in town will be there. We hope to see you too. Yours sincerely, Mayor Lewis. The letter was folded with care, tucked into a drawer with others, invitations, reminders, thank you notes from villagers, and the occasional mysterious scribble written on what looked like dried tea leaves. One in particular bore a symbol not unlike those carved into the walls of the community center, the Junimos's mark perhaps. But today, thoughts of magic and mystery would wait. The path to Pelican Town stretched just beyond the southern gate, winding through flower-lined fences and a patch of wild sweet peas. Today's tasks were simple yet satisfying. Check in with Pierre for more fertilizer, maybe stop by Marnie's for a new hay order, and if there was time, cast a line off the riverbank to try for a gold-quality red snapper. The luau wasn't just a party. It was a gathering of neighbors, of friends. Some new, some still shy and distant. It was a time to show appreciation, to share, and in a small but meaningful way to belong. With the sun climbing higher and a basket full of summer bounty, the farmer set off, boots thudding gently against the dirt path. Bees buzzed, birds chirped. Somewhere in the forest, the sound of Robin's hammer echoed as she worked on another one of her ever-expanding house projects. The valley was awake, and so another day began. Chapter 2, Town Talk and Busy Days. The morning air carried the scent of fresh pine and warm earth as the farmer followed the path south toward Pelican Town. The cicadas had started their summer hum, and a faint breeze rustled through the leaves. The wooden fences lining the farm creaked gently as the farmer passed, a quiet rhythm to a peaceful walk. Today, the town felt different. There was a quiet excitement in the air, like something festive bubbling just under the surface. Tomorrow's luau, pronounced luau, was on everyone's mind, and Pelican Town was buzzing with the energy of preparation. The first stop was Pierre's general store. The old wooden sign swung gently in the breeze, and a familiar bell chimed as the door opened. "Ah, good to see you," said Pierre, standing behind the counter with his usual eager smile. "You're getting ready for the luau, I bet. Everyone's talking about it. Abigail's been practicing music in her room all week, though I think she's more interested in setting up her drum kit on the beach." The shop smelled of dried herbs, seeds, and faintly of strawberries. Rows of saplings, fertilizer, and fresh summer seeds lined the shelves. The farmer picked up a few bags of deluxe speed grow, perfect for getting one last crop of blueberries in before the season's end. Outside, the town square had begun to change. Colorful paper lanterns were strung between lampposts, fluttering gently in the breeze. Over by the saloon, Gus was stacking crates of ingredients beside a table covered in tablecloths. "Hey there, friend," he called out. "I've got a new batch of starfruit wine ready for the luau. I'm thinking about doing grilled corn this year, too. You bringing anything good for the soup?" The farmer smiled and nodded. A freshly caught red snapper, chilling in a barrel back home, would do nicely. Near the fountain, Penny was helping Jazz and Vincent hang streamers between the trees. "Careful with the tape, Vincent," she said kindly. "We don't want to pull off the bark." The farmer stopped to say hello, receiving cheerful waves from the kids. "I hope the jellyfish come close this year," Jazz said with wide eyes. "That's not until the end of summer," Penny reminded her, "but it's always beautiful." As the day wore on, the farmer wandered the town. At the carpenter's shop, Robin was halfway through building a large garden bench for the beach, while Demetrius, pronounced Demetrius, stood nearby debating soup chemistry. "Too much spice, and you overpower the vegetables," he said. "It's all about balance." "Just don't let Shane put in hot pepper again," Robin laughed. "Remember last year? Poor Lewis couldn't stop sweating." The luau was more than a party. It was a collaboration. Each villager brought something of themselves, their work, their craft, or simply their joy. Even Linus, often shy, had been spotted gathering wild herbs from the foothills, likely to make a simple forest stew. Back in town, the blacksmith's forge clanged with each swing of Clint's hammer. The farmer paused to pick up a new tool upgrade, perhaps a steel pickaxe, perfect for reaching deeper layers in the mines. "You going to the luau?" Clint asked without looking up. The farmer nodded. "Good. It's nice seeing everyone together." The walk continued toward the beach, past Elliot's cabin, its shutters open wide to let in the sea breeze. A faint melody drifted out, likely the writer rehearsing a poem or song for the event. He often spoke of the ocean like it was an old friend. Down on the dock, Willie was tending to his fishing nets. "Caught a squid the size of my arm the other night," he said, laughing. "Might fry it up for the luau if it's not too chewy." The water sparkled under the mid-afternoon sun, and a few seagulls circled lazily overhead. As the farmer made the slow walk back home, the valley felt alive in a special way. The wild grass swayed along the edge of the forest where Leah's cottage stood tucked among the trees. She was outside, chiseling at a block of wood. "It's going to be a carving of the governor this year," she said, wiping sawdust from her brow. "Think he'll notice the resemblance?" It was good to laugh. The valley had its quiet days, but this season, summer, was made for life, for gathering, for long conversations in the warm light. Back at the farm, the sun hung low on the horizon. The farmer carefully picked over the harvest crates, selecting the best ingredients for the soup. There were starfruit from the greenhouse, but those might be better saved for wine. A purple mushroom? Too strong? A jar of truffle oil? Tempting, but best not risk an oily broth. The red snapper still glistened on ice. It would do just fine. As the sky turned orange and pink, the farmer watered the last row of tomatoes, fed the animals, and lit the torches along the fence. Fireflies had begun to flicker across the fields, and the faint sound of crickets signaled the night's arrival. Tomorrow, the valley would come together at the edge of the sea for food, for laughter, for celebration. And tonight, the stars above twinkled quietly, like lanterns waiting to be lit. Chapter 3, Festival Day, the Luau. The first light of dawn barely touched the horizon when the farmer woke. Today was no ordinary day. It was the day of the Luau, pronounced Luau, the great summer gathering on the beach. Excitement hummed in the air like 1,000 bees, and even the sea breeze seemed to carry a promise of celebration. Outside, the sun was just beginning to paint the sky in shades of coral and gold. The familiar sounds of the town waking up mixed with the gentle crash of waves nearby. The farmer dressed quickly, slipping into comfortable clothes, ready to join the town's big event. Walking toward the beach, the salty tang of the ocean filled the air. The usually quiet shore had transformed into a bustling festival ground. Colorful tents lined the sandy stretch, each decorated with bright banners and shimmering lanterns. Long tables were set up, covered with cloths embroidered by Emily herself, featuring swirling designs of flowers and stars. Villagers gathered in cheerful clusters. Some set up stalls with crafts and foods. Others practiced music or shared laughter beneath the shade of palm trees. The smell of grilled corn, fresh fruit, and spiced dishes teased the nose. Mayor Lewis stood near the center of the festival, greeting people as they arrived. Beside him, Governor Lewis, resplendent in his formal robes, smiled warmly. He was the guest of honor for this year's luau. Nearby, Gus and the saloon crew busily tended to a large grill, flipping kabobs and tending to steaming pots of stew. Gus winked at the farmer. "I'm glad you brought something special for the soup," he said quietly. "It's always a bit of a gamble. The governor's taste is particular." The communal pot sat near the stage, a large iron cauldron steaming with the year's contributions. Each villager had brought something to share. Wild berries from the forest, sweet honey from the hives, exotic spices from the traveling merchant, and even wild mushrooms carefully gathered by Linus. As the festival got underway, Sam and Abigail set up their instruments nearby. The rhythmic beat of the drums soon filled the air, blending with the strumming of a guitar and the soft hum of flutes played by Emily. The music was lively but gentle, inviting everyone to sway and smile. The farmer wandered from stall to stall, sharing greetings and admiring the craftsmanship. Leah's hand-carved wooden bowls gleamed beside Maru's neatly soldered jewelry. Sebastian and Shane joked near the fire pit, tossing logs onto the flames. At the center of it all, the governor approached the large soup pot. The moment arrived. Mayor Lewis called out, "Now everyone, the governor will taste the soup and give us his verdict." The crowd hushed, eyes fixed on the steaming cauldron. The governor dipped a silver ladle into the thick broth, lifting it carefully to his lips. For a heartbeat, nothing was said. Then, a slow smile spread across his face. "Delightful," he declared. "This soup is rich and full of summer's bounty. Well done, everyone." Cheers erupted. The villagers clapped and laughed, relief and pride shining in their eyes. As plates were passed around, the farmer took a moment to sit on a driftwood log near the water. The warm glow of sunset bathed the scene in soft light. Children chased fireflies, their laughter mingling with the waves. From a nearby tent, Elliot, pronounced Eliot, recited a poem about the sea's mysteries, while Harvey quietly admired the sunset, content. Night slowly descended, but the festival did not wane. Lanterns floated above the beach, casting a golden glow. The dance began, and villagers paired off to move beneath the stars. The farmer found themselves swept into the gentle rhythm, spinning beneath the moonlight alongside familiar faces. The air was alive with warmth and friendship, a perfect summer moment. As the music played, the ocean whispered secrets to the shore, and for a brief time, everything in Stardew Valley felt just right. Chapter 4, Afterglow and Reflection. The morning after the luau dawned soft and quiet, as if the valley itself was still resting from the night's celebration. The air was cooler, touched by the gentle breeze drifting down from the mountains, carrying the faint scent of pine and salt from the nearby ocean. The farmer awoke slowly, the memory of laughter and music still lingering like a warm blanket. The sky outside the window was painted in pale blues and soft pinks, promising another perfect summer day. Stepping outside the farm was peaceful. The animals moved slowly, still content from yesterday's calm. The chickens pecked quietly near the coop, and a lone cow mooed softly as it grazed near the barn. The scarecrow stood watch over the fields, bathed in the gentle morning light. The garden still held the scent of summer blossoms, sunflowers standing tall, bright against the sky, and wild roses climbing the fences. A few lingering fireflies flickered weakly, reluctant to leave the day behind. Today was a day for reflection and small tasks, a chance to slow down and appreciate the simple beauty of the valley. The farmer took time to walk through the fields, checking the crops. Blueberries ripened in clusters, and tomatoes hung heavy on the vines, their skins glowing with promise. Near the pond, the gentle splash of water marked the quiet work of a lone duck. Dragonflies darted above the surface, their iridescent wings catching the sunlight. Later, as the afternoon sun grew warmer, the farmer wandered back toward Pelican Town. The streets were calm, the usual bustle replaced by a soft stillness. Villagers greeted each other with smiles and nods, their faces bright but peaceful. At the saloon, Gus wiped down the counter, humming a tune from the night before. "That luau was something special, huh?" he said with a grin. "Good to see the town come together like that." The farmer nodded, feeling the truth in his words. A visit to the community center revealed that some tasks had already been marked complete, the rooms brightened by the generosity and effort of the townsfolk. The Junimos, tiny glowing creatures flitting just out of sight, were felt everywhere, watching over the valley's harmony. As evening approached, the farmer made their way to the beach once more. The sky was a canvas of deep purples and soft golds, the waves whispering their timeless song. On the shore, a few villagers lingered, sharing quiet conversation beneath the stars. The soft glow of lanterns reflected on the water, and the scent of salt and seaweed mingled with the cool night air. The farmer paused, taking it all in, the friendships, the community, the unspoken promise of new beginnings. The luau had been more than a festival. It had been a reminder. A reminder that even in the busiest seasons, in the heat of summer or the chill of winter, the heart of Stardew Valley was its people and the simple moments they shared. With a final look at the starlit waves, the farmer turned homeward, ready to face the days ahead with hope and quiet joy. Chapter 5, Whispering Winds and Quiet Work. The early morning breeze drifted through the valley, carrying with it the scent of wildflowers and distant pine. Summer was still in full bloom, but beneath the brightness there was a soft whisper, a quiet rhythm to the day's work, a steady heartbeat beneath the festival's fading echoes. The farmer woke to the gentle call of the rooster and the familiar clucking of chickens eager for their morning feed. Today was a day for quieter tasks. the kind that grounded the soul. The barnyard was alive with soft sounds. The cows were eager for fresh hay, and the horse waited patiently by the stable door, ready for a ride along the forest trail. After tending to the animals, the farmer set out for the mine, the familiar path winding through tall pines and ferns. Inside the mine, the cool air was a relief from the growing heat outside. The flicker of the miner's lantern cast long shadows on the stone walls as the farmer picked their way carefully through the tunnels. Each swing of the pickaxe echoed softly, striking ore veins shimmering with copper and iron. The distant rumble of rocks falling added a thrill to the adventure. Every precious mineral brought the promise of better tools, new crafting recipes, and progress deeper into the earth's mysteries. Between mining runs, the farmer paused by the campfire in the cavern, pulling a worn fishing rod from their pack. The underground lake's still waters reflected the glow of glowing mushrooms, and a sudden splash signaled a successful catch, a shimmering iridium-quality fish, rare and valuable. Back above ground, the afternoon was spent at the river's edge. The sunlight danced on the water, and dragonflies flitted just above the surface. The farmer cast their line patiently, hoping for a bite. Nearby, the sounds of the valley filled the air. The distant hammering of Clint at the forge, the cheerful greetings of villagers passing by, and the soft music from Emily's accordion as she practiced near the community garden. Stopping by the library, the farmer found Abigail absorbed in a book about the valley's history, her purple hair catching the sun's glow. "Did you know," she said, looking up with a grin, "that the first settlers believed the valley was protected by ancient spirits? Some say the Junimos, pronounced Junimos, are their guardians." The farmer smiled, remembering the tiny, mysterious creatures who helped restore the community center, silent watchers of the valley's well-being. As evening fell, the golden light spilled over the treetops. The farmer returned home, the day's treasures and memories packed carefully away. Before night fully took hold, a gentle knock sounded at the door. It was Penny, holding a basket of freshly baked cookies and wildflowers picked from the forest. "I thought you might like these," she said softly. "It's nice to have someone to share the quiet days with." Together, they sat on the porch, the stars beginning to twinkle overhead. The valley settled into a peaceful lull, the sounds of crickets and night birds filling the air. In moments like these, the magic of Stardew Valley was clear. Not in grand festivals or bustling town squares, but in the soft, steady pulse of everyday life and the connections it wove between people and place. Chapter 6. The Dance of the Moonlight Jellies. The last days of summer arrived gently, like a slow sigh carried on the warm breeze. The valley was still alive with color, sunflowers standing tall, wildflowers nodding in the soft wind, and the fields heavy with ripened fruit and vegetables. But the true magic of this season was yet to come. The farmer woke early, a cool calm settling over the world. The ocean's tide whispered softly against the shore, as if inviting all who lived here to witness something rare and beautiful. Tonight was the night of the Dance of the Moonlight Jellies, a secret, shimmering spectacle that few had seen and everyone treasured. As twilight deepened, the townsfolk gathered once again on the beach. The glowing lanterns from the Luau still hung softly in the trees, their light mingling with the first stars. Mayor Lewis welcomed everyone with a warm smile. "The jellies will arrive soon," he said. "Let's enjoy this moment together." The farmer stood beside Leah, Penny, and others, their eyes fixed on the water's edge. Slowly, from the depths of the sea, tiny glowing shapes appeared, pulsing gently like underwater stars. The moonlight jellies, ethereal creatures with translucent bells, floated in a slow, graceful dance across the waves. Their pale blue light cast a magical glow over the beach. The ocean sparkled as if scattered with diamonds, and the air seemed to hold its breath. Emily softly played her flute, the notes weaving through the night like a lullaby. "They come every summer," she whispered, a reminder of the valley's wonder, that even in the quiet moments, magic lives. The farmer felt a profound peace settle over their heart. The busy days of planting and harvesting, the laughter shared during the luau, the quiet conversations with friends, all these memories shimmered like the glowing jellies before them. As the dance continued, Sebastian pulled out his camera, capturing the moment in black and white, a timeless memory. Even Gus, usually more focused on food and drink, paused to watch, a soft smile breaking through. When the last of the jellies slipped beneath the waves, the crowd remained still for a moment longer, connected by a shared wonder, bound by the valley's quiet magic. The farmer looked out across the sea one last time, knowing the season would soon turn. But this night, this perfect shimmering night, would live on in their heart. With the gentle sound of waves and the fading glow of the lanterns, the valley rested, ready to welcome whatever new adventures awaited with the coming fall.